Is that enough for you, Julie?
That's enough for me. Ooh,
Here it
looks
is.
lovely.
Is that what we've got to say?
Me and my mum are doing the tasting, so...
Buongiorno and welcome. Julie and I went for a bike ride yesterday, and along the way we picked some blackberries in our local village. This is how much we have picked. They are not very big, but they are lovely and juicy, which is ultimately what really matters. And I already washed them, and they are dry and they're ready for either use as they are or to make whatever you like. And today I've decided to make a crumbly blackberry tart, which will have also a lovely layer of sweet ricotta. It's simple to make, it won't take very long, but I'll start by making a little jam, a homemade jam for this recipe. We tend to freeze our blackberries and use them in the winter as and when we need it, but today, for the purpose of this recipe, I will do approximately 300 grams. Followed by 150 grams of sugar, which is half the weight of the blackberries. Perfect. Juice of half a lemon for a bit of a zesty flavor. I mixed everything together and I placed them on a hob, and as soon as they start boiling, I'll place the lid on and I'll leave them on a medium-high temperature, number 6 here, and I will leave them to boil gently for a good 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, the blackberries will have released a lot of water and it should look something like this. And using a hand blender, I'll blend everything together. That's it. You can sieve this if you want to remove the seeds, but I like them and I'm gonna leave them in as they are. I'm back on the hob, medium setting number 5, and I'll leave it now cook for a further 20 minutes without the lid on until I get a lovely and dense blackberry jam. In the meantime, I'll make the pastry for the tart. 200 grams of flour, this is self-raising flour. I'll be using a food processor for this, and this is 70 grams of granulated sugar, 75 grams of butter, 5 grams or a level teaspoon of baking powder, and a pinch of salt. And I'll blend everything together for a few seconds. That's good. Next I'll add 1 egg and a little sunflower oil. And mix once again. And I've got here a lovely crumbly paste. I'm moving the pastry onto some cling film, wrap the cling film around it, making it into a little ball, and I'll place this in the fridge next for a good 20 minutes to rest. And my homemade jam is ready, and it's lovely and thick, but it's still really hot. I'll move into a glass bowl, and I will also put this inside the fridge so it will cool down slightly and keep the pastries and company. While I wait, I get the ricotta ready, and whenever I bake and I use ricotta, I always put it through a sieve, as this will make it a lot fluffier. That is perfect. This is purchased ricotta, but if I was to make my own ricotta, which I often do, I would actually put it through the sieve twice. And to sweeten it up, I'm adding 50 grams of icing sugar. No need to use a blender for this, you could just use a spatula and mix it together until everything is combined. Literally, it's a matter of seconds. And thankfully my camera lady has just arrived, so I do not have to keep changing positions on the cameras.
Yep, she's already had a little taste of this. Mmm, very nice.
I have greased a 20 centimeter thin baking tin, and I will put this sheet of baking paper underneath so it doesn't go anywhere. Having greased the edges as well, I've now applied a little flour so that they become not sticky as well. A little tap so that all of the surplus flour is gone away. My pastry is ready, has been in the fridge for a good 20 minutes. I'll split it in half and I will put it inside my tin. I've actually put a little bit more than half, as it was a little bit thin, it doesn't matter. But using my fingers, I'm now spreading it across the base and also raising it towards the edges of the tin. If you are new to this, it's not always the easiest thing to do, but dig in your fingers and move it towards the edge, and you'll find that as you turn the tin, it becomes much easier. Either way, make sure that it's nice and compact. Go back on the base and push it down. Looking good. Fork and gently just stab the base of the pastry a few times. I'm now adding the ricotta on top of my base, and I'll spread it evenly across the tin. I'm switching to a spoon as it is a small tin and it is easy actually to work. Here is my jam just out of the fridge, and as it has cooled down a little bit, I'm happy that it's not going to be melting the ricotta. And I've got a little left over for Julie to have for breakfast tomorrow. I'm going along now and adding a few more blackberries on top of my jam.
The jam is delicious, by the way, everybody. Really lovely.
I did say at the beginning this was going to be a crumble blackberry tart, so I'm going to be crumbling this away on the top now. It doesn't really matter how big or small you do them, they will taste the same as long as you cover the entire surface. That is done, and I'm now decorating the top layer with a few more blackberries.
Goodness knows we have enough.
Entirely up to you how many you put in, of course. My oven is at temperature 180 degrees. It's a Fana Sister oven. If you've got a normal conventional oven, 200 degrees, 40 to 45 minutes. See you in about 50 minutes. Ciao. And it's been out of the oven for quite a while actually, and the last 10 minutes I turned the temperature down to 170 as it was already brown and I didn't want to really risk it. So here it is. It's looking very good, and actually I've let it rest for an hour because we've had our dinner. And if I'd done my homework right, it should just easily come out, and it does. There it is.
Well done, it's beautiful. Luckily, the base stayed in the tin, look, so
Yes.
I didn't even have to peel that off.
Perfect. And as it is lovely and cold, it should be easy to cut as well.
What about doing your stuff and your icing sugar when you're putting that on?
Oh yeah, forgot. I've already started slicing it, but I forgot the icing sugar, so I'll put some icing sugar in first. And as I made the jam using some lemon juice, I think using a little zest from the lemon will complement it lovely. So back to my cutting. I've already done one cut.
two.
Take two. The marshmallow like that,
Oh yeah, I can eat that easily.
like that.
Yeah.
Let's spin it as I'm right-handed.
I'm so looking forward to this, it looks delicious.
Is that enough for you, Julie?
That's enough for me. Oh,
It
looks
is.
lovely.
It looks wonderful.
Then.
Well, it's up to you.
Okay. This
Okay,
looks lovely.
this does look lovely. Me and my mum are doing the tasting, so here we go. Let's see what we think.
Ooh, it's a big
It
thing.
does look lovely. And the thing is, I haven't got a fork, darling, or a spoon or anything, in fact. Right, ready to go. Found some spoons.
Ready,
Here we
steady,
go.
go.
Let's go. Ooh.
Lovely.
Oh, it's delicious. The ricotta in the middle is really lovely and soft, isn't it?
Very
It's got a
tasty.
really different taste to it. And I love this topping. It's a bit crumbly, a bit like a crumbly pastry almost, isn't it? Lovely.
Yes.
10 out of 10.
We
really
approve.
super. Yeah, we'll have more. Thank you.
Very good.
Is that what we've got to say?
Ciao, ciao,
Ciao,
for now.
ciao
For now.
Do you want to use another go because you were useless?
Where we go?
Ciao, ciao, for now.
Ciao, ciao. I better go and put my apron in the wash. It's filthy.